Today I'll have a look at an interesting pen. This is a pen from a brand I have not reviewed before. It was sent to me by Markus, and the brand, I have written it down because I keep forgetting it, PierCarlo d'Alessio. I'd never heard of it, and the pen looks Chinese to me, but the name is definitely not Chinese. I don't know. I just don't know. Okay, Markus, thanks for sending me this pen. I find this an interesting model, and I'm going to cover the parts of the pen, tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and they'll do a writing sample. Alright? Let's start at the very... No, I'm not going to start at the top of the pen. Today, I'm going to be a rebel. I'm going to start with the barrel. Alright? The barrel has this fake leather covered stuff. And now, you've seen that, I'm going to go to the top of the pen. Because the finial has that same stuff on it, but it looks really weird because it has these odd bumps on it that make it look like it's, you know, diseased or something. It has some contracted something terrible. Then you have the clip, and I like this. I like the way they put this on. I don't know, it looks cool to me. Very stiff clip, not really pleasant to use, but no, it's a clip, and that's all there's to it. Chrome colored cap, very reflective, very shiny. Then you have that leather-esque barrel. You have a little center band there, which I actually think rotates a little bit. Yeah, it does. Interesting. The leather part above it also rotates. And then you have an end cap. Pop open the cap. This is a serious closure. It can be posted, and then you have a decently sized pen, and of course you can also use it unposted, and then it is, well, a slightly smaller pen, I would say. Very thin section that is, well, slightly hourglass shaped, and then a number 5 nib that says Iridium Point Germany and has some scroll work on it. It's relatively rigid, but it has a little bit of line variation to the extent that the tines open up a bit. Pen takes a cartridge or a converter, and this is one of those pens where you can put in a cartridge and put a second cartridge in the back of the barrel as a spare, which I always think is nice. Now, what do I think of the pen? What do I think of the pen? I think it's a nice pen. I think it looks decent. It doesn't look like a horribly made pen. Barrel and cap are nice and flush. I think it's cool. It looks decent. It's quite light. A knockabout pen that you don't buy for too much money. The nib writes. It does a decent job at what it's supposed to do. And that's pretty much it. You know, it's an inexpensive pen. This is not a high-end limited edition. It's just a simple user-grade pen. And it does what it's supposed to do. Now, things I don't like so much. Well, yeah, this bit rotates. You know, you notice this in the less expensive pens. The clip is useless. That is not something for inexpensive pens. I've also seen that with expensive pens sometimes. I think the nib and section, they seem a little bit unbalanced, but I don't think there are much smaller nibs. This one is already in quite a bit, so to me that just aesthetically looks a little bit odd. I'm not sure about this fake leather cover, but you know, all right, it's decent. It's all decent enough. The coolest thing about this pen is that in a survival situation, you can unscrew this, you can pop this off, and you can use it as a blow dart launcher, and then someone goes down, or you know, if you're in the Secret Service, etc. That was a joke, just for the record. Interesting pen. I think you need to see how it writes. That's what we're going to do next. Markus, thanks a lot for sending me this pen. If you're interested in measurements of the pen, go to my website, sbrebrown.com. It'll have measurements and weight, and there will also be pictures of the pen, as well as the writing sample in high res / def. High def and res. Resolution and definition will be high. Things will be high. Go there. I'm going to do a writing sample next. Hope this was useful so far, and I'm glad to see you later. Bye bye. Okay, here we go with this PierCarlo D'Alessio. The nib is a fine and the ink is Mont Blanc Royal Blue. And the nib is not particularly scratchy. It's a decently smooth nib. A bit of feedback, but it's not scratchy, so that's alright. But it is very hard, so it doesn't really yield much as you write. However, it doesn't really skip either, so it feels very rigid because it doesn't yield as you write, but it's, well, although it gives some feedback, I don't think it's a horrible nib. As to its wetness, it's quite dry. You can see that's not the world's wettest pen. You can squeeze out a little bit of line variation, but as I said, it is a fairly rigid nib, so you need to push down quite hard on it, so be careful not to spring it, but you can get out a little bit of line variation. As to reverse writing, I think the pen is too dry for that. It just runs dry and stops writing. Okay, well, Markus, thanks a lot for sending me this pen. I appreciate it. Guys, I hope this was useful, and I'll gladly see you later.